Hey, all you crazy crypto kittens, this is Nick from Decrypticate, where we focus on DeFi and all other types of passive income sources. How y'all doing out there? It is Friday, the best day of the freaking week, and we're going to have a wonderful weekend, so I hope you all are well. Today we've got a video for you on the drip garden. I'm going to go over the basics and try to dumb it down for everybody. It can be a little bit confusing, so we're going to get into some details and try to illustrate it and make it as simple and easy to understand for you as possible. But before we get into that, I just wanted to thank you all for watching and subscribing to the channel. Guys, if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. You can come on over to my Connect page linked down in the description and check out all the links that we have for you. We do have a Telegram group going. It's a great group of people that are talking about our various crypto investments and passive income sources. So please check that out. We also have a newsletter that's going to be going out very soon, probably this weekend. We have a new video that'll be released that I can't post on YouTube, guys. This is an email only kind of thing, but it's going to be a great passive income tip. And then we have all of my links down below that, as well as the one for the drip garden here. Guys, if you're not in the drip garden, this is the link that you're going to want to go to sign up for the drip garden. Okay, so let's get into it. Just a quick interruption. I realized after recording this video just how long it really is, and I apologize for that. There's a ton of details to go over, and I talk about all the tools that I use and everything. I just wanted to emphasize how what a great opportunity is right now to get into the drip garden if you're not already, because the drip price is low and because the animal farm is going to be relaunching here within the next couple of weeks. All the news that comes out for the animal farm is going to be boosting that drip price and boosting all the hype towards the animal farm. So this is an excellent time to get into the drip garden. If you're already in the garden, this is a great time to grow your position, because our profits are really going to be growing as the animal farm relaunches. So I just wanted to emphasize that. I also wanted to note that I split this video up into chapters for you. You can use those on the YouTube UI right on the video play bar, or you can go to the quick links down in the description so you can skip ahead to chapters that are of interest to you. So again, I apologize for the long video, but it has a lot of good information in it. So please watch through it as much as you can. Thanks, guys. All right, so the easiest way that I could think of to describe how the drip garden works is it's basically like running on a treadmill. We've got road runner here. This is you. This is running. You're going to be running on a treadmill. And once you get into the drip garden, you're going to be running this treadmill every day. Okay, it's a non-stop treadmill. And I'm just going to hide this for clarity's sake. But basically, how it works is once you enter the drip garden, depending on how much you invest, kind of decides how much you earn per day. So the less that you invest up front, you can expect to make a smaller amount per day, and the more that you invest, the more that you can expect to get per day. And that's kind of goes without saying, right? But what isn't known is that once you establish your position, you can kind of expect to get in that dollar range per day every day, and that goes until you start harvesting or claiming your daily income, and then you start losing your spot on the treadmill and you start falling back farther and farther and farther. But the idea of the drip garden is to harvest responsibly and compound your position. You have to keep compounding to keep your position, because this treadmill is always running, guys. And the thing about it is it runs at different rates. The motor changes speeds on you just to keep you on your toes. So you have to keep running in order to keep up with that treadmill. And so in order to keep your position, you have to keep running and compounding as much as you can. And then if you manage to get ahead of your position a little bit, you can take a little bit of profits and fall back just a little bit, just enough so that you can compound some more and try to get back your position that you just lost from taking some profits. So this is the idea here, guys, that you're running on a non-stop treadmill. That treadmill motor runs at different speeds, throughout the day, throughout the the weeks and the months, based on the garden contract balance and a couple other factors. But the basic idea here is to compound as much as you can. Theoretically, you want to compound more than everybody else so that you can gain contract percentage of the contract total, because the more of the contract balance that you own personally, the more that you're going to get paid out, right? So you're going to move farther and farther up here. The more that you compound, the more that you compound more than I'm saying that wrong. The more that you compound more than other people, the more contract balance that you're going to gain, and the more money that you'll eventually be able to pull out. So the idea is to pull out profits just a little bit at a time so that you don't lose a huge chunk. If you save up your daily profits for a week, which I did early on, unfortunately, you jump way back here and lose a huge percentage of your contract balance, and then you have to compound for weeks on end just to gain back a little bit of what you lost. So it's really a game of running on a treadmill and trying to keep your position. So that's the real basics of it, guys. I tried to simplify it as much as I can. So now we're going to get down into a little bit of the details of it, and I've created a flow chart above this that'll hopefully describe kind of how it works. All right, so we're going to scroll up here and go through the basics of how the drip garden actually works. So you're going to start off by going into the drip liberation contract, and I'll kind of go through some of these steps on the actual website so you can see the actual process. But I want to go through this flow chart first, and then we'll go through the various tools that you can use, and going through the actual animal farm as well. So you start off by putting any crypto, whether it be BNB or any other Binance Smart Chain coin, into the drip liberation contract, and that will automatically make you drip BUSD LPs. And the LP stands for liquidity pair token. And you're going to want to use the drip liberation contract instead of creating it, say, on PancakeSwap, because this will give you the best price and charge you the least amount of taxes. So this is the place to do it if you want to get started in the garden. Okay, go to the drip liberation contract. It'll make your LP tokens, and then you can deposit those LP tokens into the garden to get a set number of plants. Now, to keep things simple here, I used round numbers and yeah. So I just tried to keep it simple. So we start off with 1,000 plants. Okay. Now, after 24 hours of those plants being in there, we will have approximately, we should have exactly 86,400,000 seeds. So one plant makes 86,400 seeds in a day, but you need 2.592 million seeds to make one new plant if you compound those seeds, if you bury them, okay? So that's kind of how the initial math works. You can expect to get 3.3% new plants every day if you just keep compounding. So if you take this 1,000 plants and compound it every day, you're going to be getting a constant 3.3% new plants. And that's if you don't have any referrals, because that gives you some free plants. And that's a couple other things can play in here. But if you just strictly play the drip garden game by yourself, you can expect to get 3.3% new plants every day. So after 24 hours, we have 86 million seeds, and then we have a decision to make. Are we going to compound, or are we going to harvest and take some profits? Okay. So if we decide to compound, we're going to bury those seeds, and like I said, we're going to get 33 new plants, which is 3.3%. And now we have 1,033 plants, and then this starts over. Except now that we have 1,033 plants, we're going to get more seeds, which is going to be 3.3% of 1,033, and the cycle continues for as long as you compound. So if you don't compound, then you're going to be taking profits. Now, how much those profits are worth is variable. We have the seed LP dollar value goes down daily. It's called the decay rate. And the decay rate is variable. It's largely based on the garden contract balance, the trend of the garden contract, and the current drip price. So what you're going to be seeing once you have your garden established, you're gonna see how much your current seeds are worth, and that value is going to change daily or hourly. It can go up and down, and that's all based on the decay rate and the the price of the LPs at the time. So by compounding, by making this choice, you have the following effects. By compounding, you're going to be likely gaining contract share and staying ahead of the decay rate. And by not compounding, you are losing contract share, which reduces your daily income. So again, back to the treadmill thing. If you're compounding, then you're trying to keep your position here or move slightly up. If you're taking profits, then you're gonna start falling back, and the farther that you fall back, the less daily profits that you're gonna see. So if we choose to harvest here, then we're gonna get drip BUSD into your wallet. The seeds have basically no value until you choose the sell seeds or harvest button. At that point, they're converted into drip BUSD LPs and they're sent directly to your MetaMask wallet. What you do from that point is up to you. You can do a couple of things. You can put them once the animal farm relaunches, which should hopefully be soon, which is why I wanted to get this video out, because it's very important that if you do want to get into the garden, right now is an excellent time, because values are going to be going up. Okay, so the one thing that you can do with your drip BUSD LPs is you can put them in the farm, and you can farm them for pig tokens, AFP tokens. They will generate those, and you can just leave them in the farm, and they will generate a second type of income for you, which is pigs, which you can do, of course, other things with, which I won't get into in this video. If you don't put them in the farm, then you can basically go to PancakeSwap and split the LPs, and it'll give you drip and BUSD in your wallet. And at that point, you can sell the drip. You can put your drip in the faucet, which is what I recommend, and then you can use the BUSD for buying whatever you want. You can buy more drip, you can buy more plants, you can do whatever you want with the BUSD from that point. At that point, it is pure profit in your wallet. Okay, so that's the basic rundown of the whole flow of the garden. You put your crypto in, you get a set amount of plants. That amount of plants that you buy determines basically your daily income rate, and then those plants will make seeds. At that point, after any time, really you can compound any time throughout the day, as long as you have at least one plant that you want. As long as you have enough seeds to make one plant. That's the only restriction as to if you can compound or not. But yeah, at that point you'll make seeds, and then you can choose to compound them back in, or you can choose to take some profits. Now, I will say, if you do decide to take profits, that it should be limited to probably a quarter or less of your daily profits. So if you're making $20 a day, I would suggest taking profits of when your total when your LP shows that you have accumulated of like less than $5, because at that point it's easier for you to compound some more and regain that position that you're losing by taking some profits. So that's about the whole flow chart that I wanted to go over. Now let's go over some details on the animal farm, and I want to show you some tools also that'll be helpful for you to keep track of your garden. So we're going to go over to the animal farm here, and we're on the drip garden page. I will show you the drip liberation page. It's not moved over to the new site yet. I don't know why, but this is what it looks like. Basically, you're going to select whatever token that you have, whether it be cake or BNB or BUSD, and then you're going to type in an amount. It'll come up with a supply, and like that, and it'll say you will receive, you know, a set number of drip BUSD LP tokens, and you just click confirm from there. Once you have those tokens in your wallet, you'll come back to the animal farm over here to the to the drip garden page, and you're going to come down here to this window here. So let's say that you have 10 LP, and you'll see that that will let you buy 15,473 plants. All you have to do is click buy and then confirm it in your MetaMask, and you'll be in the garden. Now, this as far as this fertilizer bonus stuff that's on the top, I would largely ignore that. It's really just a factor of this graph here showing that that as time passes, the buy power of the plants becomes more and more and more. And this is different than other miners, which is really nice because you can establish a good position no matter what time it is in the garden. We've been in the garden since, let me check my my spreadsheet offline here. We started in mid-December, so we've been going a good 8 months now. And no matter, even now when you get in, you can get a decent number of plants for your investment. So I would really ignore this fertilizer bonus. It really doesn't mean anything worthwhile for you to know. All you need to know is you need to put your LPs in here. You buy your plants, and then after a day or so, depending how many plants you buy, you'll start seeing, well, you'll see it immediately, but you'll start seeing some data down here. So this is the total number of plants that I have. I just crossed 300,000 plants. This is the number of seeds I have available that they've generated so far since I compounded. My last compound was last night. I usually do it twice a day. And then this is the amount, this is the value of the seeds. So this is telling you with the seeds that you've generated so far, if you were to sell them, that you would get 2.688 LP tokens, and that right now is worth $26.33. Okay. At my current time, with 300,000 plants, I'm generating about $67 a day if I were to withdraw every day. But again, you don't want to do that. You don't want to withdraw every day because you're going to lose your place on the treadmill. You're going to start falling back, and this daily amount is going to go down every time that you withdraw. So, and then this is the total number of seeds that you can generate per day with that number of plants. Again, this is a static number of one plant to 86,400 seeds. Okay. And then finally, this is the number of new plants that you can generate with those seeds. So with this, whatever 103 billion token or seeds that I have available that my plants have grown for me, if I were to plant the seeds, I would get about 3,986 new plants. And we can go, I'll actually do that right now because I have not done, have I done my main? No, I have not done my morning compound yet. So I'll go ahead and do that live for you on the video here. And what I do on my spreadsheet, I just choose to track this data because it's interesting to me. What I do is I track the total number of plants that I have, the number of new plants that I'm growing, and then I keep track of this, how many LP and the dollar value that it gives me. So I copy that into my spreadsheet. I click click the plant seeds button, and then I go over in my MetaMask and I confirm it. I'm going to type this into my spreadsheet real fast while that's doing that. And what we should see is that this will go up by 3986 or maybe a few more because I'm creating a new plant literally like every 7 seconds. So there it is, it updated, and now I have 304,944 plants. If I check my spreadsheet, yeah, so my value actually changed a little bit since I loaded this page. This, unfortunately, the new site isn't keeping up with the constant updating of the data here as much as the old site did, and I think they're doing that to save some bandwidth and some API traffic. So the best way to get an updated number is to simply go to another page and then come back, and it'll update like I just did. So I already have generated 5 new plants. Okay, so that's the basics of how to operate in the actual Animal Farm drip garden page here. Now I want to show you some quick tools, and then we'll adjourn this video for now. I know it's a lot of content, but I wanted to try to go over all the basics for you. So I have 3 tools here that are very helpful. The first one is drip.formulate.finance. This is created by DevStreak, which is a current employee of Forex Shark, and he's working on the new drip UI, the new drip faucet site, adding a lot of these tools right into the drip and Animal Farm sites, which are going to be great. So he has pages here for the drip garden, for drip itself, for the piggy bank, for the pig pen, and he also has a couple other calculators and status tools. So what you can see here is that I generate 10,000 new plants a day. That makes about 6.75 LP, which are worth about $66.20 at this time. You can see my plants are growing here. I'm growing a new plant every 8 seconds. And then you can see a forecast of if you're generating plants a lot slower, which you generally will at your first deposit, you can see what time the next plant is, which tells you basically when you can do that first compound, because remember, you have to have at least 1 plant before it'll let you compound. And then you can see some overall stats and your contract share. So again, this is very important right here. The more that you compound, you're going to see this share go up. And I do track this on my spreadsheet daily so that I can see that trend. And I have been increasing my share because I have been doing basically nothing but compounding. And again, this contract share is representative of where you are on that treadmill. So the more that you buy in at the start, the farther along the treadmill you will be, the more dollars per day that you can expect to get in return. The other one I wanted to show you here is the status page, and this is probably the best representation I've found yet that shows the current decay rate. So the one we want to look at here, there's a lot of data here, but the one that we really want to look at is the plant LP under current, and this gives basically a 24-hour rolling average of the current decay rate for the plants. And the decay rate for plants, again, is the basically the dollar value of the seeds and plants that are generated from the plants that you have in the garden. So as the contract balance goes up and drip price goes up, then you can expect this decay rate to be less. As drip price goes down and the contract balance starts going down, then you can expect this to be higher. So the thing that you need to know about this number is that if it's below 3%, like it is now, you can safely take a little bit of profit. So at this point, if I were to wait maybe 3 or 4 hours, and this number is still around 2%, then I couldn't safely take that 4 hours of profit. Again, remember that I just compounded, so I would take about 4 hours of profit and put that into my wallet, which I'm accumulating right now to put back into the Animal Farm garden, or the Animal Farm farms. So if it's over 3%, then you want to hold off on taking any profit and simply compound it, because if it's over 3%, then that means if you compound it, then you're going to be basically holding as much contract balance share percentage as you have currently, and you're trying not to lose any. If it's above 3% like it is now, then you can actually gain contract share balance. Okay. So this is the decay rate. This is very important that you want to pay attention to if you want to take any profits. So that's the drip.formulate.finance site. The second one is Dune Analytics, and this is a kind of a broader view analytics, and this is a view of what I've done in the wallet. You can see I've been compounding nonstop, But what I want to really show you is a couple of things down here. And this is a graph of my wallets or my garden LP production. And you can see at the start, when the garden was new and everybody was aping into it, all of our LPs output from the plants was growing like crazy. And you can see I peaked out somewhere just below 10 LP. And then I decided to save up about a week's worth for the launch of the Manor farm, and that really hurt my daily profit. Now this did allow me to basically ROI, but just this is a really good representation of how your daily trends are going. And you can see each time here where I decided to save up some profits and I did not compound at all, you can see how it hurt my production here. And then I gained some back up, and then since the animal farm has been paused, you can see I've been basically doing nothing but compounding and holding my position. And then you can see within the last few weeks here, as the animal farm relaunch gets closer, the drip price has risen a bit, and the garden contract balance has risen a bit. So my daily income has risen with it. Now, the other thing I want to show you down here is this wallet positivity over time. And this is basically a graph of this number right here, of the decay rate. So you can see at times, when it's about -4%, that means the decay rate is really heavy. People are pulling out of the garden, and or drip prices falling, so it increases the decay rate and basically pays out less. And you can see on even just a couple of recent days here, we have a -1.56%, which is a really good day to take any profits if you were to catch that. Now this graph isn't as up to date, I would say, as this one is. This one is updating very often, whereas this one only updates once per day. So if you look at, if you try to find today's number, you can't really find it. You can only kind of see some trends that are going on. You can see even yesterday on the 4th, it was -1.42%. So I really should have taken some profits there, but unfortunately, I was too busy to do that. So this is a real nice graph to see as well. And then the last one on here that I want to show you is the garden wallet breakdown. This is a representation of everybody that's in the garden and how many plants they have. So you can see a pretty big chunk here, and this is probably people that excuse me, that started in the garden on the early days, like me. So it starts off with 5,000 to 6,000 plants. And the top wallet has, I don't know, 10 million or something, a huge number of plants. I'm currently, let's see, I'm in the 300,000 range. So that's 30,000. Yeah, so I'm up in this region. There's 251 players that are currently, actually I'm in this one now. There's 187 other wallets that have that many plants, as many plants as I do. So you can see, that I'm in the top pack right now. And then these people down here are probably people that just joined not too long ago and either withdrew all of their profits or are just starting, one of the two. Okay, so that's everything on the Dune site, and there's one more. This is dripscan.netlify.app. Again, I'll have all these links down in the description for you. This shows a lot of the same data that that drip.formulate does, but they have a nice graph here that I really like. Rather, it's a lot easier to read than this one because you can zoom in on it, and this one is your whole lifespan of the garden. This one you can zoom in and really kind of see what's going on. So let's see, actually this one doesn't zoom out to the start, now that I noticed that, but you can see the trend here. This is the whole time that the garden that the animal farm has been paused. I have been compounding just to just to keep my percentage of the contract share, as is. And this is when it fell off. This is when drip went really low back in June, and we've been steadily gaining since. If we zoom in here, you can really see that my daily LPs have grown considerably just within the past couple weeks, because of the drip price has rebounded a bit and more people have been entering into the drip garden. You can also see that here, which is a really nice graph to have, of the total contract balance. This is the representation of how many LP tokens are locked into the garden right now. And if we zoom in, we can see some trends here of the drip garden has been gaining some more popularity because the animal farm and drip are on a resurgence here as the relaunch ever approaches. So we got to a low of 356,000 LPs, and we're climbing up now. We were almost at 380. So as this grows, and you're into the garden, as this grows, then your daily LPs can be expected to grow with it. This is why it's hugely important to get into the garden right now if you're not already, because the animal farm is going to be relaunching here within a month or so. And as news comes out, we can expect the drip price to rise with it. And with that said, the contract balance is going to be growing, and our daily revenue, the LPs that are generated by our plants, are going to be growing with it. So this is why it's a huge opportunity for you guys, if you're not in the garden, to get into the garden now, and really get into, almost at the ground floor. We are at a low back here in early June. But you still have a great opportunity, because as you can see up here, we have a long way to get to recover what we were at, back at the start. So we have a lot of room to grow here. And this is why it's a huge opportunity to get into the garden. So that's about it for today, guys. I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, all my links for the animal farm and for the drip garden are going to be down in the description, as well as on my connect page. You just have to click this one right here. It costs you nothing if you use this link. It does send me some plants as a referral reward. So I would greatly appreciate you using this link if you're going to get into the garden. And again, I hope this has been helpful for you. Don't forget to smash that like button, click subscribe if you're not already, and throw some comments down below. Let me know what you think about the drip garden. If you are in it, let me know how it's been working out for you. And if you're not in it, let me know what you think about this. You can get a fair amount of profits on the good days of the garden. I was getting 15% a day, guys. So this can definitely blow up on you, and this is why I'm suggesting, again, not financial advice, do your own research, but this is a huge opportunity to get into the garden now. So that's about it for today, guys. I hope this has been helpful for you. Don't forget that when you use the CryptoCat, passive can be massive. We'll see you next time.